Alright guys, my servers are in pieces, the room is a complete mess. I'm doing a bit of a network upgrade for future products. I do have a channel direction video of, you know, what's coming in 2019. I haven't actually unprivatized it yet. It's on the site. I've got to do that. I know. I've been busy. And FYI, Patreon, if you keep wanting to screw people over, someone might have 3 IBM servers sitting around the house that he might be retrofitting. Just saying. Let's jump into the news. Washington Post correction. Nathan Phillips was never deployed to Vietnam. Oh my fucking shock. Who would have thought this? Oh, wait, everybody. Really? Another correction on this story. Holy shit, the news has got so much wrong over the past week. I was actually talking to one of the guys at work. They got the whole BuzzFeed article wrong. Mueller came out and claimed that that was factually inaccurate. Then they went through and they went on about, there was something else on Friday or Saturday. Oh, Ben Shapiro. Going on about Ben Shapiro's baby Hitler's comment and everything like that. And I didn't even get to talk about that. And when you look at the facts, his argument was completely sound. Then it was the kids and this whole fiasco. Over the past week, the media has just lost it. They have just got full-blown 9,000 power level Trump derangement syndrome. And they are just absolutely crazy right now. They're just making shit up, from my understanding anyway. But let's keep going. Look, obviously a lot of people at the time were going through and saying that this guy, it doesn't add up. The dates, the times and everything like that doesn't seem to add up. He would have been 17. He was claiming he was serving in 72. There weren't many troops. A lot of people were starting to question the narrative that this guy was a vet. Now, obviously, to his credit, he said that he was serving during Vietnam times, which a lot of people have claimed that he was using fuzzy words, what I like to call fuzzy words, and there is a good argument for that. He wasn't lying, but he was... Yeah, you get the idea. But let's jump into the argument. The Washington Post has walked back claims about the military record of Nathan Phillips. It's funny because I was going to do a Freedom of Information Act on that. The Native American activist at the center of the nation controversy captured on video on Friday's Women's March in Washington, D.C. In a January 20 report titled "It Was Getting Ugly," Native American drummer speaks on his encounter with mega hat-wearing teens. The Post Cleaver R. Woodstone Jr., Antonio Oliver, and Joe Henshin religiously stated Phillips is a Vietnam veteran, or is a veteran of the Vietnam War, despite having not been deployed. On Tuesday, news of the Post correction began circulating on social media. Earlier versions of this story incorrectly said that Native American activist Nathan Phillips fought in the Vietnam War. Phillips served in the U.S. Marines from 72 to 76, but was never deployed to Vietnam. The correction reads, the update does not have a time or date stamp. The latest blunder following a string of missteps by the establishment media who rushed to condemn a group of Catholic high school students for their behavior during a confirmation with Phillips on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. At first, on focus on a short video showing one of the high school students, Nick Sandman, wearing a red Make America Great Again hat, is appearing to smile while a crowd of other teens laugh behind him. He stood next to the 64-year-old Native American who played a traditional chant on a drum. Pulled back further and a different view emerged, however, in a separate video showing members of the group calling itself Black Hebrew Israelites, I'm getting that name wrong, I apologize, taunting everyone on the mall that day, calling the Native Americans who had gathered there the Indigenous Peoples March Uncle Tomahawks and $5 Indians, and the high school students crackers and worse. Additional footage shows the black Hebrew Israelites calling the students racist something or other, little dirty something crackers, and child molesting something word that I can't mention on YouTube because I'll get banned. It was an ugly encounter of spew efforts, but nevertheless ended with no punches thrown or other violence. Okay, so look, at the end of the day, obviously, the Gateway Pundit is also covering this. He lied. Native American activist Phillips never served in the Vietnam War, but raised money saying he did. Oh, wow. The Washington Post has released an issue of retraction after falsely claiming the far-left Native American activist Nathan Phillips served in the Vietnam War. He didn't, but this lie was previously used to help raise money for a documentary about his life. On Monday, the Washington Post quietly issued a correction to their story about the activist, saying that while he served in the Marines, he was never deployed to Vietnam, which is what we always said. Correction: earlier versions of the story incorrectly said the Native American activist Nathan Phillips fought in the Vietnam War. Phillips served in the US Marines from 72 to 76, but never deployed in Vietnam. In 2012, over $6,000 was raised for a documentary about his life in which he claimed to be a Vietnam veteran. In the video about the documentary, director Maria Chute explained that her documentary was about Phillips' belief that he could pray cancer away from his wife. Okay. Power of voodoo, I suppose. Shintiva explained in the footage that Phillips had been sent to a Catholic boarding school at the age of 5. From the sounds of it, he resents the experience. She wrote, quote, Nathan's past is a difficult one. He was forced out of his family at the age of 5 to be integrated into a Catholic school. Like so many Native Americans, not been allowed to see his family for 10 years, Savita stated. Savita goes on to say that he was then a Marine in Vietnam, and right after that he became an alcoholic for 20 years. Countless media outlets and reporters used the false claim about his service in attempt to shame those who questioned his antics when he confronted the students in Washington, D.C. Another day, another fake news. Yes, and I would agree. Look, at the end of the day, what's my view? What's my takeaway on all this? As for him, I don't think he claimed recently anyway that he was a Vietnam vet. I think what he said that he was in the military during Vietnam times. Now, look, obviously, guys, if you want to turn around and say that he is using fuzzy words, or what I like to call that, I would agree. Yes, he is misleading people, I would say, but he never actually said, so to my knowledge, that he was a Vietnam vet recently. Although, if this 2012 report is accurate, and he did say that he was in Vietnam War, and he has raised funds. Not only do we have stolen valor, but we also have fraud. I would say that's a pretty good case for fraud, to be honest. And yeah, I would say maybe investigate him for fraud. I don't know, guys. I think that this is, if they have got record of him saying that on camera, and people donated money to him thinking that he was a Vietnam vet, then obviously that would be fraud. Yeah. Obviously, just very quickly on this too, Nathan Phillips suggested expelling the Catholic school kids. Nathan Phillips, the Native American who beat his drum in the face of the Cummington Catholic boys, now says he's considering calling for the students' expulsion. So look, at the end of the day, look, what are my thoughts on this guy? Look, I think he's an old man who is desperate for attention. And he is milking this situation so that he can go through and get that set attention. Similar to the incident where he approached these guys at the party and they threw a beer can at him. Okay, show me the beer can with their fingerprints. Maybe I'll believe him. But I take everything with this, what this guy says, with a grain of salt. That the whole Vietnam thing was very suspect to me because the dates didn't line up. I believe I said this in the other video. And at the end of the day, yeah, I was going to look into it. I was going to do a Freedom of Information Act if I could. And see if I could get the record. But look, at the end of the day, obviously I don't have to now. Obviously they've admitted that he didn't actually serve during the Vietnam War. But guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I definitely think the media used him as a Vietnam vet to use that as a shield. To turn around and say, you know, you can't attack this guy because he's one of you. He's a Vietnam vet. He's a, you know, because most Trump supporters are obviously patriotic and support the military. And that was that sort of shield they tried to use. And it's interesting now that it's come out later that, oh wait, he wasn't really a Vietnam vet at all. He was a vet. He served during the Vietnam times or slightly after Vietnam times. But yeah, I think they deliberately used it as a shield. But let me know your thoughts in that comment section below. If this video has been helpful, please smack a like. If you're new to the channel, welcome and subscribe. Apart from that, guys, I'll see you in the next demonetized video from YouTube. Have a great day and enjoy.